Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar on co-mailing, co-mingling, and co-palletization, the latest in WindowBook's educational webinar series. My name is Monica Lundquist, and I'm the Postal Affairs and Technical Support Manager here at WindowBook. I'm particularly pleased to have with us today our guest speaker, Deb Demore, who is Account Executive at Farrington Transportation. We were scheduled also to have Erv Drewek, Manager of Postal Affairs from Brown Printing Company. Unfortunately, Erv was not able to be with us today. Deb has a long history of involvement in the mailing industry, and both Farrington and Brown Printing Company offer a variety of printing, mailing, and distribution services, such as drop shipping, consolidation, co-mailing, co-mingling, and co-palletization. WindowBook's webinar guest speakers are responsible only for the educational content of the webinar itself, and they make no endorsement, express or implied, of WindowBook Incorporated and or its products or services. Before I turn it over to Deb, let's first go over the definitions for the various terminology used to describe combined mailings. Co-mailing is typically used to describe the process of combining individual pieces of flat-size mail together in the same mail stream. An example would be combining different magazine titles into the same mail stream, or combining different catalogs into the same mail stream. Co-mingling is used to describe the process which is essentially the same as co-mailing, except that it is the term used to describe the process of combining individual pieces of different letter size mailings. We do have a separate webinar on this topic, by the way. Co-palletization is used to describe the process of combining not the individual mail pieces, as with co-mailing or co-mingling, but rather the combining of handling units, such as bundles of flat mail or trays of letter mail, onto the same pallet. For purposes of today's webinar, we will be concentrating on the flat mail environment, which involves both co-mailing and co-palletization. And as I mentioned, we do have a separate webinar on the co-mingling process for letter size mail. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Deb, and she's going to be giving us a presentation on co-mailing and co-palletization. So Deb, go ahead. It's all yours.
Okay. As Monica mentioned, Erv was going to join me here today. He unfortunately had a topic he needed to take care of, so it's just going to be me, but I'm sure we're going to do just fine together. Go briefly over the agenda. We're going to talk a little bit, before we get into the combined mailing, we're going to cover what PBDS is, just so you have a point of reference on that topic also. And then when we do talk about co-mail and co-palletization, we'll describe what they are, what are the benefits, and then briefly get into the onboarding process. Co-mingle, we're just going to do a very high-level overview of what differentiates co-mingle from co-pal when we talk about the letter pieces. As Monica mentioned, the WindowBook does sponsor a separate webinar series on co-mingling. When we talk about the PBDS, it's best to understand the current mail flow. So as you produce your mail today and bring that into your BMEU and have that verified for origin entry, it travels along through multiple hubs throughout the post office. What that does is it adds an extra handling, and it also adds in time. Plant verified drop shipment, it lets you have your mail verified at your facility along with the DMU clerk, and then you can transport that mail, or you can hire a third party, a logistics company, who's going to take that mail and then present it to the SCF, NDC, ADC, or DDU for destination discounts. The benefit in that, of course, is the time savings, but also, more important, even the postage savings. When you prepare and enter the mail, according to the post office label list, the mail direction file, you can then benefit from the DNDC, GSCF, and so on entry discounts. The farther, closer to the entry point that you enter your mail, the deeper the discount you receive. When you do PBDS mail, you need to have a PS Form 8125 accompany your mail. Right now you hear a lot of discussion on this because this is the way that the post office, one of the ways that they use to verify their revenue. So it's very important that this 8125 be correctly filled out with all of the mailer information and the mail makeup information so that everything can be accepted at the SCF and NDC